I'm Dr. Anthony Asadullah. I'm the publisher and author of 3 books. My first book, Souls for Sale, The Diary of an Ex-Colored Man, published in 2002. My second book, it's called 50 Years After Brown, The State of Black Equality in America. It's published in 2005. And my most recent book is a book of daily affirmations for young black men called Saving the Race, Empowerment Through Wisdom. I chose to write books of a historical nature to focus on the untold story of African Americans. As a scholar, as a columnist for the last 17 years, it's important for us to be able to interpret current events in a historical context. I think what is important about my most recent book is that it is trying to encourage young black men to read. And so, go to savingtherace.com, my other book, blackequality.com, and it's important to support black authors, and I'd like to thank the African American Literary Book Club for the support.
What are some of the ways that we can help black boys read more? What are some of the ways that we can do that?
I think one of the ways that we help black boys read more is by putting things in front of them that can pique their interest beyond entertainment and athletics. Yes, it's easy for them to tie into things that they might have an affinity for, but to help them ask questions about themselves. Where do I come from? What have I contributed to history? Why don't I see more people that look like me on television, or more people that look like me in books? And then we direct them to those things where they find themselves reading about themselves.
Cite some examples, including your work, that you think young boys would enjoy reading, and why?
Yes, I believe there's several books out there. Of course, everybody knows Hill Harper's book, Letters to a Young Brother. There are several other historical kind of books that we should always try to root our youth in. Richard Wright's Native Son. Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. John Oliver Killen's A Black Man's Burden. These are some of the books that help me. Of course, Richard Wright's Native Son, not just Black Boy, but a number of books that really kind of center the African American male in the context of society, and they'll be able to see the problems that they face now that they faced 70 years ago.
A kid that's maybe in his early teens, never had a history of reading. You might not introduce him to Richard Wright or John Oliver Killen's. What would you recommend in that case?
The reason why I wrote this book of daily affirmations is because in a context, a young man can read a page a day. Just start them on a page a day. Read what is ever on that page. And I have an affirmation, then I have a spiritual quote so that they can see that wisdom, comes from the Bible, Quran, whatever their spiritual grounding is. Then I have a traditional African quote so that they can see that history and wisdom is not just contemporary, but spans across times. And then success quotes always help them see people in a successful light as having tied back to a fundamental learning lesson that helped them get where they were.